From topical panel shows to acclaimed one-man shows.
Rejected lines from movies.
ET phone premium rates set.
Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 Russell Howard moments. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we'll be focusing on the most memorable moments from the career of one of Britain's most popular comedians, including standout stand-up performances, memorable interviews, and other public appearances. Number 10. Why are girls' toys so patronising? The Russell Howard Hour. Russell typically uses this news-based show to address important issues in a humorous but also informative way, as in this routine when he rounds on entrenched gender stereotypes.
Don't use your brains, girls. Just be pretty.
Having denounced how different toys are targeted at boys and girls, he goes on to look at slogans on children's clothing.
Boys get tops that say, "Time to change the world." And girls get hats that say, "Future footballer's wife."
While the jokes keep coming, Howard never trivialises the issue, delivering his message with a genuine passion that shows how strongly he believes in it.
And in science, think about it. Why would you want to discourage half the population from doing jobs that can make the world better?
Number 9. Grumpy Children, Room 101. A regular on comedy panel shows, here we see Russell try to consign spoilt kids into Room 101, and he doesn't mince words.
Just whining, tubby messes.
Although the host Frank Skinner surprises everyone with a school photo of Howard himself, the comedian takes it all in his stride with some trademark self-deprecation.
Well, I haven't seen that for a long time. I look a bit like Harry Potter's German pen pal.
And his pitch eventually gets Skinner musing on poor parenting in general, which leads Russell into a dessert-themed and, far from angelic, family anecdote of his own.
My sister's eating Angel Delight. She goes, "Dad, what's Angel Delight made of?" And my dad just went, "Dead angels."
Number 8. Under the Bed, Friday Night with Jonathan Ross. Whenever Russell's interviewed, it's an entertaining affair, but this 2009 moment with Jonathan Ross really sums him up.
I'm quite good at being awkward, that's my major skill. So I'll make a fool out of myself and then retell it and it's funny.
He's giving insight into writing comedy when he relates an over-awkward story and doesn't skimp on the details. Howard explains how he once hid under his brother's bed, intending to surprise him when he returned home. But the practical joke didn't exactly go to plan.
Like this. And for some reason I look back at the girl, I've no idea why, and she caught my eyes and I just looked at her and went, "Hello!"
He clearly has a close relationship with his family, but this is just a bit too close.
What was really great about it is she looked at me and went, "Hello!"
Number 7. Things that can f*** off, Russell Howard's Stand-Up Central. This show sees Russell perform stand-up in front of a live audience in Camden, answering questions from social media as he goes. And for this routine, he rants through some of his pet peeves.
People who make a cup of tea by putting milk in first. Are you out of your mind?
After taking aim at Channel 4 documentaries and the word chihuahua, he turns his scorn on men who want praise for pointing out the obvious.
I don't think there's ever an excuse for you to hit a woman. And you're like, really? Thank God you said that.
All in, Russell's pent-up rage seems an unstoppable force, and his comic explanations get weirder by the second.
And he told me a story that he was with a dominatrix who was trying to choke him and he was trying to say the word rhododendron.
Number 6. The Stegosaurus, Russell Howard Stand-Up Central. Sticking with Stand-Up Central and Russell's reading out audience comments mid-routine, until he pounces on an especially unusual message from a woman called Tia.
My name is Tia and I am a Stegosaurus. Okay. Probably one afterwards. Hello, my name is Roger. I am Tia's carer.
But then Tia introduces herself, and Howard's quip quickly backfires.
You're disabled?
I'm a carer.
And you're her carer?
Fortunately for Russell, Tia sees the funny side, allowing the clearly embarrassed comedian to salvage his respectability by making himself the butt of the joke.
Did you see that bit on telly the other day when Russell Howard's career ended? It was...
Number 5. The House of Lords, the Russell Howard Hour. Next, we're reflecting on the average House of Lords expenditure, and Russell isn't happy.
115 lords got a tax-free allowance of 300 quid a day for doing cool.
In fact, he's a rate, and he mounts a momentous argument against the flawed system, underlining his points by revealing the outrageous things that some lords genuinely complain about or claim for.
They turned the telly room into a bloody office. How dare they? I don't come to work to work.
Whilst Howard is careful to praise peers who are doing important work, he shines a damning spotlight on those seeming to waste taxpayers' money. Only Russell can pick apart politics by mimicking a posh person watching tennis.
Bah, 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 meh, meh, meh.
Number 4, the Queen joins Twitter, Russell Howard's good news. In 2014, the Queen sent her first tweet to mark the opening of an exhibit at the Science Museum. So, naturally, Russell has a few suggestions about what other tweets she could send.
Charles, I'm thinking of abdicating the throne. Hashtag only joking, Juggins.
Unfortunately, where there's Twitter, there are trolls, and even the Queen couldn't escape some abuse, but Howard has the perfect response.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. I was too busy blocking out the haters.
Those insults were nothing compared to what was directed at the UKIP leader though, as Russell finishes the skit by rounding up the best of hashtag Ask Nigel Farage.
Have you ever noticed that you look like a scared turtle?
Number 3, why is America obsessed with guns? Russell Howard's good news. As Russell explains how the 2015 Paris terror attacks led to a surge in applications for gun permits in America, he's very clearly unimpressed with the gun lobbyists.
Guns, guns.
Pick up your boom boom stick, America! We gotta shoot our way to peace.
And to illustrate his point, he deconstructs an interview with a determined gun manufacturer who puts Christian symbols on automatic rifles.
What? You can write anything on a gun, that doesn't make it Christian.
Russell's blatant bewilderment only increases after hearing how the gunmaker encourages Christians to take up arms, leading the comedian to make his own observations.
I'm a Christian, and I believe that it's right, and I am encouraging people of my faith to take up arms.
That's exactly what ISIS do, you idiot.
Number 2, selfies, the Russell Howard Hour. As we've seen, Russell doesn't shy away from the important issues, and here he addresses the rising rate of self-harm among teenage girls and the links with social media.
Teenage girls are desperate for likes, and they don't like themselves.
Howard starts off stunned thanks to Kim Kardashian's selfie routine, before he begins an impassioned defense of real memories over fake social media records, telling stories from his own childhood as evidence.
But what I'm saying is memories are so much better than photos. A photo is just a memory with no soul.
And amid all the humour, he doesn't lose sight of the victims themselves.
Why don't we give a shit? You see people going, it's a cry for help. Well, let's help them then.
Number 1, the fan with cancer, Russell Howard Wonderbox Live. We finish at the end of Russell's 2014 stand-up tour, and Howard has an amusing yet poignant tale to tell involving a 14-year-old fan with cancer.
He wants me to wear a throbbing 6-foot cock costume to a 14-year-old boy's funeral. In case you're struggling to visualise that.
He explains the boy's courage in the face of illness and how he planned his own funeral, even designing the fancy dress costumes for everyone to wear, and issuing a special, unconventional request to Howard.
And I said, I will do this, but you need to write me a letter saying that this was your idea.
Russell relays the details with trademark humour and sincerity, before revealing a spectacular twist ending, leaving everyone with smiles on their faces.
He got tested and he no longer had cancer. His blood counts had gone up. He was no longer dying. How amazing is that?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.